Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shaw Craft One in my old barn door, and I am back and I'm ready to work on the spine of our billowing journal. I added all the goodies on the edges, and when I do the final flip through, I'll show you all of those. But for now, for time's sake for the video, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the spine, and then we'll do the cover and we'll be finished. So I'm going to do them in separate videos, simply because there's a lot to it and I don't want the video to be super duper long. So I've gone ahead and put a tie on the journal just to hold it closed for me so I can work on the spine. So, and all I did was I just ripped a piece. This is the coffee dyed green ticking that I couldn't find. Well, I found it. And so I've stitched two pieces together and I've just glued it across here. Okay. Because this will mostly be covered. You'll probably only see maybe a little bit of this and the tie on it once we finish it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on the covers, because not the cover, the spine, because there's several things, several steps that I want to take to do the spine. So the first step, well, I want to put this piece of quilt. Isn't it beautiful? It's a vintage quilt, and I'm going to put these book spines on it. This is the original book spine from the cover of the book that I made the journal out of. And then this one is a Vintage Reader's Digest spine, but I wanted it because it has the flight of the phoenix. And this book is for Carol, and I just want her to know she will rise from the ashes. So I wanted to put that spine on there too. So we'll do that. But the first thing we need to do is we need to do a little inking. We need to ink some things for the spine. So I have some of this creepy cloth. I have some in the black, and then I have some in the cream. I've got some dyed cheesecloth, holy crow, and then I have some avocado dyed fabrics. Okay, but for this I wanted to try and add a little bit of color to a little bit of this. So I want to add some green, because I want to give it, I think the cream is, it still has that organic look, but I want to mix some. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this, and I'm going to try and dye it. Not a huge piece. I'm just going to cut some off. So we'll have some of the cream. And I think I want to take some of this too. I don't know if this will take color or not, but we're going to try and see. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this. This is just the black creepy cloth. It looks black when it's in a pile, but it looks more gray, like a dark gray when it's not in a pile. So I'm going to take some ink sprays, and we're going to see what we can do with this. So I have this English Ivy green and the Tattered Angels spray. So I'm just going to spray some here. Oh, I need my water. Where is my water? I'm not going to put a whole lot of water, but I'm going to put a little. And I think I'm going to cut this in half again, because I think I want part of it green and maybe part of it purple. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm going to get messy, but I'm okay with that. I'm just going to dip it into this green here. I might need more water. Yep, getting good messy. But that's okay. And I don't care if it's not completely dyed. Like, I'm okay if some of it stays the cream color. All right, so we got a good darker green there. And then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have green dyed fingers. I think what I'm going to do is try and take a little bit of a lighter green. This one is Golden Leaves. And I think I'm going to try and just kind of spray around on it. Yeah. And that'll just make it a little easier to get a little color on it. And I kind of want it both front and back, because you'll be able to see both sides of it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side and we'll dry it in a minute. Ooh, I'm making a good little mess on my fingers. Okay, let me see if I can find some mop-up paper. Let's see. I have a few. I don't want to get them too dark. And I'm just laying them to the side and letting them dry. Okay, I think just a couple more, we can get all of our color. That way we don't waste our color. Okay. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to take this one and try it with the purple. And I think I'm just going to spray on the purple like I did the lighter green, because it seemed to take that color better when I just sprayed it directly onto it instead of trying to dip it and smush it in. Okay, so let's just see what we get here. Oh yeah, and I just kind of want a hint of it. Again, I don't mind if some of it stays the cream color. Okay. I'm going to lay that to the side and use my mop-up paper. Whoa. This is good and messy. But hey, that's the fun of it, right? Okay, now we're going to take the black and I think what I want to do with the black, I have this Shabby Shutters. It's a Distress Oxide from Tim Holtz. And it's a lighter green, and I think the darker color will pick up the lighter green easier than it would the darker greens. So we're going to try that. Let me just shake it up real good. This one, it takes a minute because there's lots of goodies down in the bottom there. Okay, so now we're just going to spray this on. Whoa, that's a lot. So we'll see what it comes out as in a minute. Okay. I'm going to lay that to the side, and then I'm going to spray some water in this so we don't waste our ink because it's pretty. And we'll use some different mop-up papers to kind of mop that up. And I'm just stacking them all on top of each other because I don't care if they, if they get a little color on this side. And eventually, once we get these mop-up papers done, we'll use them in a journal. But I like to mop up pretty good with them before I put them in a journal. Going with that. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to dry these, and then we'll get ready for to do our sew our spine. So I'm going to try and see if I can get some of this ink off my hands too. Hang on. Okay, so now I'm ready to stitch my spines onto my quilt piece. So I'm going to adjust the camera. Hang on. Okay, hopefully you can see that okay. So I kind of want them, I don't want them straight up and down. And I think what I'd like to do is maybe do something like this, and then put this one in here like this, and just kind of give it, you know, a little bit of off-centered feel. So I'm just gonna sit this in here like this, and I have a dark thread in my sewing machine, so I'm just gonna go around the edge of the book spine. I meant to back stitch on that and forgot to, but that's okay. We'll just go back and back stitch. Okay, and I kind of want it to be a messy type of stitching. I don't want it to be perfect or beautiful, or, you know, I mean, it will be beautiful in its own way, but I just don't want perfection. So we're just going to go around the edge of this book spine. And again, I'm not doing it perfect. I just kind of want it really, really messy. The main point is just to get it attached, and I like that it sticks out the top up here as it billows off the spine. Okay, I'm going to back stitch that a couple of times. Okay, and I like to leave my strings hanging, so I'm leaving those. And then this one we will kind of add like right here. And even though this is like a little bit crispy, I'm okay with that because it's the look I'm going for. And I just kind of want it to look all kinds of tattered. Okay, so we're just going to slide this in here, maybe. It's kind of thick, so there we go. All right, and again, we want a messy stitch. I am going to back stitch on this one too, though, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, which it shouldn't go anywhere because it's going to be glued down really, really well, so we should be okay. But I just want to make sure it stays good. I want to leave the broken pieces alone. I don't want to stitch on those. And I'm okay, actually, if the broken pieces come off, because that's the whole point of a tattered look. Okay, slide that out. Yep, see, that little piece came off, and I'm almost wondering if I need to go around this one more time because I'm super duper close to the edge there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it should be okay. But yeah, see, these pieces may break off, and I'm okay with that. All right, so I'm going to move the sewing machine, and then we're going to come back with the journal and get everything attached. Hang on for me. Okay, so now, excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to add our cloths and our spine, our quilt piece, to the spine of the journal. And I want it to look really, really tattered. So my idea for these pieces is I want just little bits and pieces of them here on the top edge, billowing up. So, and I kind of want to layer them, but I don't want to layer too much because then, okay, I'm going to just stand it this way. So hopefully y'all can see okay. I'm going to have to stand up to do this part. But you see, this one came out good with the color. I like the color in it. And this one, I like the color in it too. This one you can't really see the green real well, but it's just a hint of a green. We've got some cream colored pieces mixed in, but you can just see a hint of the green, so I'm okay with that. All right, so now I just want a little piece off of this one, so we're going to just cut this way. Okay, put that to the side. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to lay it right here at the very top and let it billow up. So I'm just going to cut there. Okay, and then we're just going to take some of our Fabri-Tac and run a line of glue down through there. I better put the top back on that, because if not, I'm going to have a volcano mess. Slide that up where I can reach it a little better. Okay, so we're just going to lay this and kind of bunch it into the glue. Okay. And then I think I want to take a lighter color. So maybe even some of the cream, just a little bit of it. Just to make the colored pieces stand out. Oops. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to put another bead of glue. We're going to put that in that glue. You get really sticky when you do this and really messy, but that's okay. I still didn't get all the ink off my hands. Now I have ink and glue. Okay, and then I think I want the purple next. And I'm just going to kind of lay it right there. And I think there's enough glue there to keep it stuck down, so I don't have to add any. And then we'll do some of the green. I just want a tiny piece of the green, actually. I don't think I need a big piece of it at all. Let's do this piece. Whoops. Okay, I'm just going to stretch this out a little and get it to where it lays right. Okay, and I think I want that to go there, but we are going to need a little bit more glue for that piece. Okay. All right, now I'm not going to fiddle with that too much until it dries, because I don't want to pull it loose, because then it just makes my job harder. I'll blow off some of those little fuzzies. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to sit this right here like this. But before I do that, I want to decide, I think I want some of this like spilling over onto the backs and the sides. I think I'm going to use a lot of the cream color. turn this way, and I kind of want it on the edge here. Like so. I might turn it this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to here, right down through here. Hopefully y'all can see okay. I know it's a little bit difficult. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit more glue, like right in here, just to make sure it holds good and it's not just glued in one spot. So I'm going to turn this sideways. I'm going to stretch this out just a little. I don't know if y'all can hear the wind, but it's kicking outside. Okay, so we're going to lay that into there, like so. Just kind of lay that into the glue. And then I'm just gently pressing it into the glue. Okay. I'm going to do that on the back side too, and I'll come right back. Okay, I think we're dry enough. So the next thing I was going to do is put this on the spine. But I don't like the way it's doing at the bottom. See where you can see? I mean, I don't mind the muslin. I'm fine with that. But I just wanted a little something decorative there. So I think what I'm going to do is scoot this up a little. And I'm going to take this piece and let it kind of billow out the bottom. So we're going to put this piece on first. And I think I'm going to trim off a little bit at the top there. And we're just going to kind of crunch this in right here so that it's got a little bit of a like a little fold in it, just to give it a little bit of a ruffle. So I'm just going to, I probably am going to have to get more Fabri-Tac, but we're going to see if we can get any out of this one. So I am just going to glue like crazy down here. Had more in there than I thought I did. Okay, and then we're just going to lay this into it. It's kind of wrinkled up. You can iron it if you want, but I kind of like the wrinkles, so I'm leaving them. All right, so I'm going to fold that one over like that, and I'm going to fold over like that and just kind of smush it down into that glue. And that way it'll kind of give it a little bit of a ruffle. I think I want to go up with it some, maybe not so far down. Okay. And then I need to take a little bit of the Fabri-Tac and put a little bit in there and a little bit in there. Just drop my lid. Okay, and then I am just going to glue like crazy on the back of this. Maybe. Okay, that one's empty. We're gonna have to break out the big guns. I'll get this one. It's a little thinner anyway, it'll spread better. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to glue all over. You have to do this pretty quick because it's already starting to dry right there. But if I press too hard, I tend to get glue spewing out the bottom of the lid. And then we have a problem. Okay, so now I'm going to go this way. I just need to get a little bit more glue over here. It's drying pretty quick because I have my fan on because I am so hot right now. Okay. So I'm going to try and wipe that off a little. And then we're going to lay it into our spine. Like so. And I'm just going to make sure that I press it in really well everywhere. And I'm thinking right here, I want a little bit of this cheesecloth just to give it a little bit of color. So I'm just going to kind of smush this cheesecloth into that glue. And then press it down just to give it a little color peeking out. And again, my hands are super sticky because I have glue all over them. Okay, and I love having the raw edges of the quilt piece showing because that just makes it that much more organic. I'm going to snip this off though. Okay. Whoops. Well. All right. So there we have our spine. And so see, we have, and now once everything dries good, you can puff this up and fluff it out a little bit more. But I'm going to leave it for now until my spine is good and dry. But I was going to show you this too. I added a little bit of the colored creepy cloth on the front as well, just to give it a little more color. So, and I put the black on the back. So that is how we are doing our spine. And yeah, it takes a lot, and it's, you know, it's a lot of work, but I'm having fun with it, and I'm loving it, and I'm putting lots of love in it for Carol. Okay. All right. So there we have our spine. So if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you will. And I hope you have a great day. Big hugs.